Why do good people suffer while those who do harm seem to thrive? Welcome back to Mind Podcast. If you've ever looked up at the sky and quietly asked, why is my life still full of struggles, even though I've done nothing but good, then this message is for you. Have you lived with a kind heart, never harmed anyone, always offered help when you could, yet life keeps testing you? Have you ever sat in silence, feeling betrayed, misunderstood, or completely exhausted, wondering if karma is real, or if the universe has forgotten your name? You're not alone. Many compassionate souls, people like you, have felt the same way. They walk through life with sincerity, never wishing ill upon others, and yet they face waves of loss, betrayal, and deep inner doubts, and slowly, they begin to wonder, is being a good person actually worth it? Why does life seem so unfair to those who live with love? Here's the truth. Those with good karma are often given the hardest battles. Not as punishment, but as preparation. You see, great blessings are never handed out easily. They are earned through perseverance, through the strength of character shown in the darkest moments. Only those with truly pure hearts are chosen to walk the most difficult paths. These trials are not signs of misfortune, they are spiritual rites of passage, refining your soul and preparing you for something far greater. So if your life feels unsteady, if you feel invisible despite your efforts to do good, it might be because you are on a rare and sacred journey. You are one of the chosen, someone with deep-rooted good karma, now walking through the fire before the light breaks through. In this episode, I will walk you through the 9 powerful challenges that people with good karma often face before blessings fully manifest in their lives. If your spirit feels weary, please stay with me until the end. Perhaps you're not lost, you're just one step away from the breakthrough your soul has been waiting for. Let's begin. Challenge 1. Being misunderstood and judged, even when you've done nothing wrong. This is often the very first and most painful challenge faced by kind-hearted people. You live with sincerity, never with hidden motives. You choose peace over conflict, kindness over cruelty, and yet, you're misjudged. You offer silent help to someone, only to be met with gossip. You act with integrity, and people accuse you of pretending. You remain quiet to avoid confrontation, and others assume you're guilty. And every time it happens, it cuts deep. Why? Because those with pure intentions rarely defend themselves. They don't argue to be right. They choose inner calm over public battles. But sadly, this makes them easy targets for misunderstanding. This challenge, being wrongly blamed or quietly excluded, is a test of your strength. It's about holding your peace even when no one stands by you. It's about staying true to your heart when others question it. As the Buddha once taught, to be wronged and not resent, it is to repay old karma. But to be wronged and react with anger is to create new karma. So if you're being misunderstood, hold on. Don't fall into despair. You are not broken. You are simply walking a path where the light hasn't reached yet, and others cannot yet see the purity of your heart. Stay strong. Sometimes, the first challenge doesn't end with misunderstanding. It quietly flows into a deeper one: loneliness. Let time speak for you. Let karma unfold its truth. When you live with sincerity, you don't owe the world explanations. Stay kind. Stay true. The goodness you've sown in silence will bloom in the light when the time is right. Challenge 2. Loneliness and faith. Feeling out of place in a world that doesn't understand you. There's a quiet kind of loneliness, one that slips into your mind even when you're surrounded by people. It's the kind of solitude that comes from living rightly in a world that often moves in the opposite direction. You walk through life guided by compassion, integrity, and the belief that good always matters. You avoid unnecessary competition, choose peace over conflict, and never expect reward for helping others. But strangely, the more true you are to your values, the more different you feel from those around you. Others chase appearances, you seek meaning. They argue, you remain calm. They act on impulse, you pause with thought. They scramble for gain, you choose what's right. And for this, you're misunderstood. You're called naive for choosing kindness, old-fashioned for honoring your principles, weak for refusing to compromise your morals. Then doubt starts to creep in. Is it me? Am I too different? But hear this. You are not wrong. You are simply on a path few dare to walk, a path of light, while the world often walks in shadow. And light, by its very nature, is rare. Those who carry light in their hearts must first learn to walk alone. The Buddha taught that the journey to liberation is not meant for the many. It is walked by the few who can see beyond illusion. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is a sign that you are ahead of your time. So if you feel disconnected, if the world makes you feel like an outsider, know this: you are not alone in your truth. You are simply waiting for others with the same light to find you. And one day, you will. One day, you'll meet people who walk with the same strength, the same faith, the same gentle power, and your path will no longer feel so solitary. Challenge 3. Continuous loss. What feels like misfortune is often the cleansing of karma. There are moments when it feels like everything you hold dear slips through your fingers. Money, health, relationships, even your belief in life itself, seem to vanish all at once. You live kindly, you strive to do what's right, so why does life feel like a series of losses? This question echoes in your heart, leaving you tired, uncertain, and overwhelmed. But for those with good karma, this is not failure. It is a sacred challenge, the challenge of cleansing old karma, preparing your soul for the blessings that lie ahead. When life takes something from us, it's easy to feel punished, but sometimes, loss is a disguised blessing, a sacred form of release. Each loss you endure is an opportunity to release the burdens of old karma. What you may have unknowingly caused in past lives, or even earlier in this one, returns not as punishment, but as a chance to lighten your soul. Without this understanding, you may fall into despair. You may question heaven, the Buddha, or even lose faith in karma itself. But if you observe closely, with mindfulness, you might realize something profound. What is being taken away could be what has silently held you back. When a toxic relationship suddenly ends, it's not a punishment, it's liberation. When a large amount of money disappears unexpectedly, perhaps it's not misfortune, but a karmic debt being cleared, making room for a future free from heavier consequences. Great blessings cannot rest upon heavy shoulders. Just as no flower can bloom in a garden overrun by weeds. Your soul must be cleared before it can blossom. The Buddha taught, life is impermanent. There is gain and loss, meeting and separation. What matters most is not clinging to the external. What is lost is merely form. If you can keep your heart kind, soft, and free from resentment, even in the face of loss, you are, in truth, gaining something greater. So if you're grieving now, holding on to something that's slipping away, try not to mourn too deeply. Instead, ask yourself, what might this loss be making space for? Could it be the doorway to something more beautiful, more aligned with your new destiny? Every ending, no matter how painful, holds within it a hidden beginning. Challenge 4. Betrayal by loved ones, a lesson in unconditional love. Is there any pain more piercing than betrayal by the very people we love most? It's not strangers or outsiders who wound you. It's the ones you trusted with your heart. A parent, a child, a spouse, a sibling, those you once leaned on, who gave your life meaning, may now be the very ones bringing you to tears. For those with pure hearts, betrayal from loved ones is far more devastating than any harm from the world outside. Why? Because you gave everything. You loved with honesty. You trusted without holding back. You offered loyalty without asking for anything in return. And yet, in return, you may receive silence, blame, or worst of all, cold betrayal. You lie awake asking, why? What did I do to deserve this? But this is not punishment. It is a spiritual lesson, one that only those with good karma are strong enough to face. The lesson of unconditional love. As long as we expect those we love to love us back in the same way, we leave ourselves vulnerable to suffering. As long as we expect understanding, recognition, or fairness from them, we will be disappointed. The deeper the expectation, the sharper the pain. The Buddha taught, due to ignorance, beings create karma with one another across many lifetimes. Becoming family in this life is not always a blessing. It is often an opportunity to settle karmic debts or resolve unfinished grievances. So if you're experiencing betrayal now, remember, it may not be to break you, but to free you. You are being taught a higher form of love, one that gives without conditions and forgives without bitterness. After betrayal by those closest to you, you may feel lost, but that very pain is guiding you toward a love deeper than attachment. Sometimes, our loved ones aren't here to support us, but to help us grow. They become the mirrors reflecting our greatest spiritual lesson, to love without condition. To care, even when there is no return. If someone you love is hurting you, don't assume it's bad karma. It may, in fact, be a sacred opportunity, an old debt being settled, a karmic knot from past lives being gently untangled. You are not being punished. You are being given a chance to evolve, from needing love to becoming love, from holding on to letting go, from expecting to accepting. As the Buddha taught, the highest compassion is boundless. It does not measure who deserves it, nor does it expect to be returned. It flows like sunlight, warm and constant, whether or not anyone notices. When you overcome this challenge, your heart becomes lighter, freed from the burden of needing to be understood or validated. You will no longer depend on others' kindness to remain kind yourself. You will understand without needing to be understood. You will love even when others seem cold. If your family feels distant, if your children are indifferent, if your home feels like a place of silence, do not assume your life is broken. You are walking a sacred path, a karmic test that, if passed, will raise your heart to a higher plane, a plane where love is no longer based on what others do, but on who you choose to be. Great blessings aren't found in perfect relationships. They are born from keeping your peace in the midst of hardship, from choosing compassion, even when your heart is tested. Challenge 5. Encountering evil people and dead ends, a test of steadfastness and spiritual resolve. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? Those who live with integrity, who never compete, who wish harm to no one, are often the ones who get hurt. You walk with kindness, yet find yourself surrounded by deceit. You strive for peace, yet are met with conflict. And you begin to wonder, why does heaven stay silent? Why do the wicked prosper while the good are tested? But when seen through the lens of deep karma, this is not injustice. This is initiation. Life is not punishing you. It is proving you. Good karma doesn't always mean smooth roads. Sometimes, it places you in storms to reveal your strength, to see if your kindness can survive darkness, to test whether your virtue is real, or only surface deep. The people who envy you, slander you, betray you, they are not obstacles. They are teachers. Will you remain calm when wronged? Will you respond with grace when provoked? Will you still believe in goodness when it feels like the world is against you? These are the questions that shape your spiritual journey. These are the moments where your true self emerges, not in comfort, but in challenge. The Buddha never promised that those who walk the path would be free from pain. Instead, he gave us the tools to pass through suffering without letting it consume us. So when you're hurt, slandered, or blocked on your journey, instead of asking, "Why are they doing this to me?" try asking yourself, "Where is my own heart trembling? Am I steady enough to stay mindful and pure amidst the storm?" A lotus flower doesn't bloom in clean, calm water. It rises from the mud, thick, dark, and heavy, and only in such conditions does it unfold its petals and release a fragrance unmatched in clarity. In the same way, spiritual strength doesn't develop in comfort. It flourishes in adversity. Not everyone has to face malicious people. But if you do, it's not a curse, it's a calling. A sign that you are being refined, tested like gold in fire. Malice, envy, obstruction, they are all flames. But true gold does not fear the fire. It shines brighter because of it. If you are walking through these trials, hold your peace. Do not let anger take root. Instead, see those people as stones grinding away your rough edges, helping you become clearer, stronger, more radiant. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Just keep living rightly and deeply. Over time, the truth will reveal itself. It always does. Yes, such people can exhaust you. But if you manage to hold your heart free from resentment, right there, in that very moment, karma is being cleared. Your soul is being polished. And if you pass this test, the blessings waiting for you will be solid, steady, like a mountain unmoved by storm. In the law of karma, nothing is ever lost. What's meant for you will arrive, just not always when you expect it. Challenge 6. Delayed success, when blessings are still ripening. Have you ever felt like no matter how sincere your efforts, how patiently and virtuously you live, life just won't move forward? You work hard, stay honest, endure the unfairness, and yet everything remains still. Meanwhile, those who scheme and manipulate seem to rise easily. You don't ask for luxury, only peace and stability. Yet it feels so far away. Why? This is the challenge of delayed success, a quiet but deeply spiritual test. In the law of karma, not every seed blooms instantly. Some seeds slumber deep in the soil, needing time, trials, and transformation before they can sprout. And for those with good karma, the rewards aren't just about status or wealth. They're about soul refinement, wisdom, and inner readiness. Because if success comes too soon, you might not yet have the strength to carry it, the clarity to handle praise, or the compassion to share it selflessly. So instead, life waits. It trains you through delay, sharpening your patience, humbling your pride, and anchoring your values. This delay isn't punishment, it's preparation. You are like a lotus bud, silent, still, unnoticed, not because you lack light, but because your season hasn't yet come. When it does, you will bloom in full, and the world will know your time has arrived. Each flower blooms in its own time, and just like that, when the conditions of your karma align, when the soil is rich, the sun is warm, and your roots are steady, your blessings will blossom. No sooner, no later. Once you understand this truth deeply, frustration begins to fade. You stop blaming fate. You stop questioning your worth. Instead, you continue sowing seeds, quietly and patiently, with a heart full of trust. You may see others achieve early recognition or material success, while your own life feels like it's standing still. But many who seem unnoticed for decades, well into their 60s or 70s, suddenly reap deep, meaningful blessings, loving, devoted children, renewed health, a calm mind, and a soul unburdened by past karma. Their peace may not make headlines, but it carries a fulfillment far richer than fleeting glory. So if you're feeling behind, don't lose faith. In the law of karma, blessings that arrive slowly are like deep-rooted trees. They last longer, endure storms, and offer greater shade. What blooms quickly often fades just as fast, but what grows through time and silence becomes something truly remarkable. Keep walking the path. Keep living kindly. Every small, invisible act of goodness is being recorded. Each moment of integrity, every patient choice, they're being stored like precious seeds, waiting to burst forth when your season arrives. And when it does, what blooms will be more radiant than you ever imagined. Challenge 7. Inner turmoil and loss of direction, a sign that transformation is near. Then there comes a strange season in life, no major disaster, no great loss, yet your heart feels like a battlefield. Everything around you may seem fine, but inside, you're adrift. You wake up tired. You look around and feel nothing. Life moves on, but you no longer feel part of it. Things that used to excite you feel dull. Goals that once lit a fire inside now seem pointless. Even small decisions feel heavy. You begin to wonder, what am I doing with my life? Where is all this going? You may even start doubting the very principles you once held dear, including karma itself. But listen closely. This is not a collapse, it's a calling. This internal disarray is not a sign of failure. It's often a quiet signal that something deeper is awakening. Just as the ground must crack open before new roots can take hold. Your inner world must be stirred before wisdom can take root. It's uncomfortable, but necessary. For those with good karma, such moments are powerful turning points. At a certain stage of spiritual growth, your soul begins to withdraw from the glitter of the world. You start questioning what's real, what's lasting, and what your heart truly seeks. This phase, though foggy and uncertain, is preparing you for something greater, a realignment of your purpose, a clearer direction, and a new kind of peace, not dependent on the world, but born from within. After the moment of losing direction, light begins to emerge, and next, you step into an even deeper challenge. Is your heart still steady when there's no one to comfort you? When everything around you feels uncertain, and answers are nowhere in sight? This silent, unsettling phase may linger longer than you'd like. It brings restlessness, anxiety, and confusion, but beneath all that, it carries a rare and powerful gift, awakening. Only when you feel empty do you pause to reflect. Only when the noise of the world no longer holds your attention can you begin to hear the whispers of your soul. The Buddha once said, "The darkest night comes before dawn." When your heart trembles, it may be because your old self is cracking open. When the world feels meaningless, you are nearing the discovery of what truly matters. And when you no longer recognize who you are, perhaps you are on the verge of meeting your truest self. If you find yourself in this foggy phase, don't be afraid. Let yourself rest. Allow your soul to breathe. Above all, keep your heart gentle and kind, even when the path is unclear. Because when this stage passes, and it will, you will step into a new version of yourself. One that sees with clarity, feels with depth, and moves with purpose. Challenge 8. Repeating old circumstances when the lesson returns for completion. Sometimes, you may feel stuck in an endless loop, as if life is playing an old movie on repeat. Different people, new situations, but the same painful themes. You change your surroundings, shift your mindset, try harder, and even turn to spiritual practices. Yet, heartbreak, frustration, or disappointment keep circling back like they never truly left. You meet someone new, but they stir up wounds that feel all too familiar. You take on a fresh opportunity, only to face the same old setbacks. You begin to question yourself. Am I cursed? Am I not learning fast enough? Haven't I already endured enough? But through the lens of karmic wisdom, this is not punishment, it's progression. Karma is not cleared in a single payment. Like a subject in school, if the lesson hasn't been fully absorbed, it returns in a more refined, more emotionally charged version. Life doesn't repeat because you've failed. It repeats because you're ready for a higher level of understanding. Think about it. A gifted student is not handed easy tests. They're challenged with complex problems worthy of their growth. In the same way, if you find yourself reliving old pain, betrayal, neglect, being misunderstood, it doesn't mean you're not improving. It may mean you're being prepared to transcend these patterns once and for all. The lesson will keep appearing until your heart no longer reacts the same way, until you can respond with wisdom instead of resentment, with boundaries instead of bitterness, with love instead of fear. After passing through inner turmoil and confusion, life invites you to take an even deeper look within. into the lessons your soul has yet to master. Though you may believe you've already learned to let go and love yourself. Ask honestly, have you truly embraced that lesson in full? Have you genuinely forgiven, not just others, but yourself? Have you opened your heart without expectation, and loved without clinging? If not, life will gently, or sometimes forcefully, bring the lesson back, not to punish you, but to help you refine and perfect it. This is why you might find yourself facing the same kinds of people again, those who break promises, drain your energy, or fail to treat you with fairness and clarity. Perhaps you keep encountering unstable situations at work, or watching projects crumble just before completion. You might think, why is this happening again? Am I cursed? Is the universe blocking my path? But in the teachings of the Buddha, this repetition is not misfortune, it's memory. It's karma, returning not as punishment, but as unfinished business from the past. Life is not standing against you. In fact, it's bringing you right back to the place where you once stopped, hesitated, or turned away. It's not a closed loop, it's an upward spiral. With each return, you're invited to respond differently, to choose love over fear, stillness over reaction, and wisdom over impulse. When you change your reaction, the energy shifts, the lesson is completed, and the karmic debt quietly dissolves. The Buddha taught that nothing in life is random. Every person you meet, every situation you face, is an opportunity to practice. If you keep encountering the same emotional patterns or familiar pains, it's because the lesson hasn't quite settled into your heart yet. But don't despair. Try again. This time, respond with a wider, wiser, and more compassionate heart. So if you find yourself in a familiar place, feeling that life is repeating itself, pause and ask, am I still blaming? Still clinging? Still resisting? If instead, you choose to forgive, to wait patiently, to respond with grace rather than judgment, then congratulations. You are dissolving the cycle. Nothing is meaningless. Every repetition is a sacred opportunity to grow stronger, softer, and freer. And once you've truly learned the lesson, that test won't return. What follows is not more suffering, but a new path. A path lighter, brighter, and more aligned with the soul you've been becoming all along. After breaking free from the loop of repeated lessons, you now arrive at the final gate, the last and most transformative phase before your blessings unfold. It is often said that the darkest night comes just before the dawn. And indeed, this bleak, heavy phase is not a sign that you're lost, but that you're closest to the light. This is the moment when old karma rises in full force, demanding to be resolved once and for all. Your heart faces its ultimate test. Can you still hold on to faith, patience, and kindness when everything seems to fall apart? In Buddhism, this is known as the clearing of the ground before blessings can be sown. Like a rice field scorched by sun, battered by storms, and tilled for months before harvest, your soul must be refined to receive its fullest rewards. It may feel like you're walking through a shadowed valley, but every painful step is preparing the soil of your life for something golden. If you're in this phase, do not despair. Do not compare your journey to others. Keep walking your path with integrity. Keep choosing compassion, even when no one sees it. Keep your heart steady, even when everything around you trembles. Because each day you endure brings you one step closer to that quiet, radiant arrival of blessings. And when they come, they won't come with noise or fanfare, but with the deep certainty that everything was worth it. The more hardship you've faced, the more immense your strength in times of peace. The more you've endured in silence, the louder your soul will shine when it's finally at rest. Those who pass this stage don't just enter a lighter life, they become light itself. They carry strength, wisdom, and calm to uplift others still struggling in darkness. Their hearts become like lighthouses in the storm. Life is not unfair to the kind-hearted. It simply prepares them differently. Blessings don't arrive on a timeline. They arrive at the right moment, in the right form, and when they do, you'll look back at your journey, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. You'll understand why the pain was necessary to mold a heart so strong, so tender, so luminous. You were never unfortunate. You were chosen to walk a higher path. Conclusion. Dear friend, if you're still here, listening quietly to these final moments, then maybe you carry a silent sorrow, a fatigue from years of effort, or the ache of feeling unseen. Maybe you've asked yourself, why is my life so full of hardship? Even though I've lived with kindness and caused no harm? I want you to know, you're not alone. There are countless others like you, quietly enduring, choosing goodness in a noisy, chaotic world. They've asked the same questions. They've shed the same quiet tears. But do you know something beautiful? Those who carry such deep burdens are often old souls, noble souls, undergoing a sacred transformation to receive blessings greater than most could imagine. These 9 challenges aren't punishments. They are not meant to break you. They are meant to build you. Every experience you've faced has meaning. Every tear had a purpose. Every loss, every silence, every ache was part of the purification. If you've ever been misunderstood, left out, betrayed, or have suffered in silence, please know, these are not marks of misfortune. They are the signs of a soul that is repaying its karmic debts, completing old lessons, and preparing for a life touched by peace, wisdom, and quiet joy. Your time will come, and when it does, your light will be impossible to ignore. After the storm of karmic trials, we now arrive at a quiet space, a moment to breathe, reflect, and understand what all the pain was for. In Buddhism, there's a powerful saying, Kotan Kam Lai, when suffering reaches its end, sweetness arrives. But that sweetness doesn't rush in the moment pain subsides. It waits, just long enough for your soul to process the wounds, for your heart to release what no longer serves, and for your wisdom to grow roots in the silence of darkness. We often think blessings come wrapped in wealth, success, or strokes of luck. But those who see with deeper eyes know, the greatest blessing is a heart that no longer suffers, a mind that no longer clings, and the ability to carry light quietly, steadily, no matter the chaos around us. Because only when your heart is clear can your life begin to shine. Only when the weight of old karma is lifted can blessings take root and bloom freely. So if you are walking through darkness now, please, don't turn back. You may be just a few steps away from the light you've been seeking. Wouldn't it be a tragedy to stop now, simply because the final steps feel heavy? Like a mountain climber nearing the summit, the air gets thinner, the climb harder, but the view, the reward, it's already waiting for you. Think back on your journey. How many times did you think you'd break, but didn't? How many silent nights did you endure, only to rise again at dawn? That quiet strength, that endurance no one applauded, is the very proof that something sacred has been blooming inside you all along. Those who live with kindness and truth need no spotlight. They are like ancient trees, growing in silence. Their roots reach deep into the unseen soil, firm, unshakable, able to weather any storm. And you, too, are that tree. Every moment you chose patience over anger, truth over gain, compassion over resentment. You were planting the seeds of a tomorrow rich with blessings. Blessings don't arrive on demand. They come when the soil is ready. And when they do arrive, they will not just reward you, they will heal you. One day, when you look back, you'll understand that every test, every heartbreak, was carving space for something more beautiful to enter. So please, hold on just a little longer. If you're tired, rest, but don't let go. If it hurts, cry, but don't hate yourself. Keep walking kindly, speak gently, harm no one, take only what is yours. That is the way of the truly blessed. Though your blessings may not yet be visible, they are growing quietly, like dawn preparing to break behind the clouds. And when that dawn finally arrives, when the light touches your life, don't forget to turn around. Take the hand of someone still wandering in the dark. Because you have known sorrow, you'll know exactly what to say when they need hope. Because you've known emptiness, you'll know how to fill another's heart with compassion. True blessings are not only to be received, but to be shared. And those with good karma, once they've endured, become a refuge for others still searching for the light. And I believe you are one of them.